I'm being joined in the program by a life member of the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party. Joins us via Zoom from London in the United Kingdom. That's England, Chief Bode George. Chief, thank you so much for coming on the program, sir.
Always my pleasure.
Chief, on the lighter note, the last time I spoke with you, I think you were still in London, and now you're still in London. Have you jackpot by any... So let's be clear.
You know, the distance in those days, it would take you about 14 days to get to the UK by sea. But now, with jets all over the place and modern technology, it's a quick dash in and out if you want to. And if you are still doing business and you are still strong enough to attend board meetings here and there, why not?
All right,
I've been back home ever since the last time.
I'll take your word for it, Chief. I know that the last time we had a conversation was the day the NEC was meeting, and you were quite very explicit. I remember your words. I may not quote you verbatim, but you said you sat down in that meeting and you were asking yourself, is this the day that the PDP will end? And you were quite excited about the outcome. And I did ask you that, what exactly are we looking forward to? He said, look, you're closing ranks and reconciliation and all of that, and there's a NEC meeting coming up, I think, next month. But if this reconciliation that you talked about the last time we had a conversation is really, really yielding results, what we're seeing in Rivers and Edo seem not to be reflecting of anything like peace in the offing.
I agree with you. I've been following the utterances, the playouts, and I am wondering, what is the Board of Trustees doing? The members of the Board of Trustees should be the elders in the room. And I am requesting them with the new chairman and the new secretary of the Board of Trustees. This is the time to forget all the various divides and go and talk to the Group A, talk to Group B, and see how you can bring everybody back on board. Every day when I listen to A and B, it really disturbs my mind because we have the capacity, the PDP, and the ability and civilized people who set up this party of ours. And, we must continue in that line. Yes, there will be disagreements, and it happens all over the world. Look at what is happening in America today between those who want Biden to go ahead and those who didn't want Biden to go ahead. Discussions will go on. This party is not a private fiefdom of any individual. For God's sake, we will talk. And that is the essence of politics. Let the leaders in BOT rise above the level of the utterances. It is really getting so nasty that what will the electorate think about us? We want us to maintain and convince the electorate that, yes, there will be crisis, but we have the capacity, the knowledge, the temerity to handle all this. It is no longer Ubara and Governor Wike and this and that and all the other. Let the party Board of Trustees members get up. This is the time to show that they really mean well for the party. It is so disturbing when I listen to one group here, another group here, and then they have sucked in the judiciary that should be independent. One judge will give judgment here, another one will give. It is very, very disturbing. The situation in the country calls for calmness because all is not going well. People are hungry and they have a right to be angry. For God's sake, don't let this thing totally get to a level where it can explode on our faces. I am a retired general. I know why I'm saying this. The masses of this country are not happy. So you that are elected, you should calm down, allow the elders to wade in. Whatever differences you have, it cannot be in perpetuity. It cannot. So what is it that we are looking for that we cannot calm ourselves and head on? You give room for one thing here.
All right, Chief.
You lose one, you get some. I don't know. It is not a scenario that has never happened before.
All right, Chief.
But let the right people get up and solve the goddamn problem.
All right, Chief. There's an election coming up in Ondo. There's an election coming up in Edo just a few months away. But it looks like the internal wrangling of the PDP is consuming the entire opposition because you're the lead opposition, given the number of states and the number of members you have both in the Houses of Assembly and the National Assembly. And so Nigerians are just left without a strong opposition in that sense. So for you, what is really the way forward? If reconciliation is not working, is it not time to wield the big stick? If it's wielding the big stick, what will it be?
When you talk about the big stick in politics, it will disrupt the foundation. Let me remind our people, the man who was the convener of the founding fathers was Dr. Alex Ekweme. He was the convener. And he was able to convince even those who were well known as his political enemies. He was able to convince Bode. They don't agree. He was able to convince Papa Solomon La. He was able to convince Papa Bola Ige in the West. They were never political issues. But for the sake of the country, everybody came there, dropped all their own ambitions outside, and rallied round to build up an Iroko political party. And for God's sake, how long have we been out? 20-something years? It's still nothing. So he was able, and for all the elections that we had in the South, when he was zoned to the South, Dr. Alex Ekweme contested with President Obasanjo. Okay, they declared he lost. He never at any time raised his hands to demonize or to destroy the party. That is a typical example of a civilized, God-fearing man. Why our people are doing this, I don't know. There's no perpetuity in anything you are doing. You will serve your time, leave a positive mark, so that the books of history will be kind to you. I am looking at it now. Everybody is sitting and watching as if all is well. Even those in government, where the palliatives just announced, Minister of Agriculture just announced 150 days. What is 150 days? What are the plans they have for us to start growing and ensuring that these things are available within the expanse of land that God gave Nigeria? There's no part of Nigeria that is not healthy in terms of mineral resources, human resources, and whatever. So is it the management? And it looks like it is the management of our resources that are not right. Look at the petty fighting in, up and down. And I want to plead, because at my getting almost 80, what else do I want? I will remain telling the truth. I will remain, because my great-granduncle was the first Nigerian who established a political party in that country, Papa Hellas Herbert Macaulay. So we must sustain that thought process, the commitment, the nation first before individuals. For God's sake, where are the members of the Board of Trustees? They are the people to lead in this reconciliation and calming the nerves of those who are so angry. Angry about what?
All right.
Please.
All right. All right,
Chief. Like you said, we have an election coming. Yeah. I've seen the powerful group that have been put as the campaign team. I don't have any quarrels about that. We will go back there to sell like I said, look at the attitude of Papa Alex Ekweme. His name will remain on the golden page of the political history of that country.
All right,
he never fought for one day to say, no, I didn't agree. We must bring everything. I was the one that formed the party. I was the one that was the convener. He didn't do that. There's no perpetuity in human beings. We have an exit one day.
All right,
so
Chief.
Let them all calm down and let's do what is right.
All right, Chief, I may at some point, if we have the time, I may ask about who exactly. Maybe this is a good time to ask. When you say you've been mentioning them, they, we should. So in specific, because you dovetailed into some national issue, which I will come to as soon as you answer this question. Who are you talking about here?
Okay. Take Rivers State. You mentioned Governor Wike, right? Then the governor presently serving, Governor Fubara. There is some kind of, disagreement between the two. Now the thing is spreading to the base of the party. And there are leaders, elders too have waded in, I'm told, and it didn't go well. But it is the responsibility of the board of trustees of the party. That's the upper chamber. Let them get people. Go and meet Group A and meet Group B. They have leaders on either side. This party just didn't come from anywhere. That was how Papa Ekweme and all those others ensured that there was continuity, there was peace. Once you have more than one or two or three people in an organization, there will be these who disagree. We can disagree, people, but we must never be disagreeable. We will have differences of opinions, of our ideas, and all that. And that's why you have elders. That's why the board of trustees is created, because they are to sustain and maintain the peace that you need. When one group is fighting another and the National Working Committee cannot handle it, they bring in the board of trustee people, elders, those who have gone to this front before, who have gone to war before, who have seen it, to tell them. I just looked at it. Papa Ekweme never at any time raised his hand in an attempt to destroy the party. Rather, he kept on ensuring that there was peace, there was agreement. Those are the things that they handed over to us in next generation. So what are we waiting for? All right. Let the man who is the chairman now is Senator Wagbara. Let him get up with his secretary. They're not just to be warming the tables and chairs in that office. Let them get some other elders who are still there. One or two of these founding fathers are still alive, but they are not in good health. They should go and meet with them. Bring them in. You need elders now in the room. It is not completely out of control that the party cannot handle. We had worse scenarios in the past, and we were able to survive. All right. So why not? All right, we can do it.
Chief, let's now dovetail into some national issue. To be fair, I think if you look at the government under President Bola Tinubu, you can see a lot of efforts, but it's in the immediate term, it's not moving as much needle as it should move in the immediate term, trying to undo or trying to manage the impact of the subsidy removal as well as the floating of the naira. So I can talk about this tax holiday, which is the immediate. There's also a 2 trillion naira proposal for some spending, some intervention, sectoral spending, as well as support system. There's also another intervention in the tone of about 1 trillion naira that has to do with household as well as construction. So we're seeing a lot of activity, but in the immediate term, we're not seeing so much result. The numbers in the FX is still high. The high cost of living, there's a lot going on. So my question is, from your point of view, what is the missing link? Capacity, prioritization, or resource management, or what?
All those three items you mentioned are very key, and these are not being well addressed. Look, if you really want to solve the problem, from my perception, those who had been managing directors of 5 banks, 5 top banks in Nigeria, should be invited. Should be invited to the villa. They know what they did, how they mismanaged the resources of the country under General Buhari's administration. And, you know, Bola has been trying to play some kind of a game so that you don't put all the blames on him. I told him that we had 1 year of a test run for him, at least to learn what is happening in this sector, what are the reports from this other sector. And so now 1 year is enough to know that. From his table, what he needs to do is to now profile solutions. Now, the solutions is profiling, and those people who are the real damagers of our financial institutions, the monetary and fiscal measures, I mean, the policies of Nigeria, those are the people. Now you have now brought them back to be your advisors. So what are they going to talk to you about? What do they manufacture in the banks? Why the way our own top bankers in Nigeria are so humongously wealthy than the people you find here as managing directors of Barclays Bank, Lloyds Bank, and all kinds of banks here. What happened? Now, the money that was disbursed, the dollars that was handed over to the various banks for the use of customers who benefited from those things. We must talk the facts. We are just brushing things on the surface and pretending that, yes, we'll get to the answer. And every time you move, time is running. And time is of essence. The people are now getting worse. And not only the people at the bottom, whether you are a rich man or poor man, everybody is now getting hungry and angry. Things are not working. All these policies, they look like it will take you another century before they can actualize. We want something that, that we immediately give an initial cushion, and then people will say, okay, let's see what is going on. All these theories that they are propounding and throwing up, what impact? That's what you should do if you are there. Listen, the British here last week had their election. The Conservative Party that had been there for about how many years collapsed. They lost the election woefully. Now, you know what the new Labour Prime Minister is saying? He said, look, they have had them.
Right.
They have had them. And he will be concerned about solving the problems rather than talking. So let the people, see the impact of whatever theory or whatever, all these things you have just mentioned that are there. All those things you mentioned are the key.
All right, Chief.
Nobody is achieving anything.
All right, Chief. So if I'm a button, sir.
It is the nation.
Yeah. If I'm a button, let me quickly. You were in the military, and insecurity is a big deal in our country. Yeah. Now we're seeing resurgence of. We saw what happened in Borno.
Everywhere.
With the suicide bombers. Yeah. We're seeing what's happening in Kaduna. What is President Bola Tinubu doing wrong? As far as insecurity is concerned.
You know, one key thing is this. You see, the military, once we are trained, not like policemen. Because if you go to war, if you have your enemies, facing you frontally, it's either you kill them or they kill you. No big deal. But when you now have a social internal unrest, when you deploy the military and any one of them is killed, they will respond with the most potent force to fight back. We had suggested the council, the committee, the Constitutional Conference Committee that was established by former President Jonathan, stated that the need to have a local police, state police, cannot be futuristic. It is so urgent because this, when you look at it, when we go to war, you have a defined enemy, right? But in this one, it's an insurgency, insecurity within. You don't know who it. They can come out during the day, they dress like they are part of this area, but in the night, they turn to be something else. So what you need will be people within their own community to police them. They know themselves. They know the do's and don'ts in that culture. They know the rules of the people in that culture. They know people from this house to that. So they will be better off to be able to manage any issues coming within their communities.
Okay.
For God's sake, we need this police. We need the state police. They know their areas, they know their language, they know their people. So when you look, I have one of my boys who had worked with me before. He's been in Boronu now. He's now an ASP. He's been in Boronu over 7 years. He doesn't speak Hausa. He doesn't speak Fulfulde. He doesn't speak anything.
Okay.
How can it be useful? You know what I'm saying? So they let them approach it. It's not politics now. We need reality on ground.
All right, George, we're totally out of time, but I will not let you go without asking you about Ondo. First, I think, when is the NEC meeting coming up?
I'm told they shifted it till September.
They shifted it to September. Is it before the Ondo Edo election or after the election?
Now, I'm not too sure about the dates now. Okay, but the NEC meeting shifted to September. Now, it was going to be August. Okay. But they shifted it
I remember
to September.
It was meant to be August. Right. So my 30 seconds, we're totally out of time. I know politicians are very optimistic about outcomes. Ondo Edo election, sincerely speaking, how do you think your party will fare in 30 seconds?
I am very positive that we will do very well. You know why? The experiences of the national management of our nation in the last 9 years had nothing to be proud of. Yes, we have internal wranglings, and this is one of the reasons why the elders in our party should go and cool the nerves of the people, because the majority of the electorate will still believe that during the period of PDP, either national or local, they enjoy themselves. Life was meaningful. But what did these people do to warrant being given the kudos to say, well done, continue? To continue in abject poverty, to continue with stories without any positive income to the people. Those are the issues. And they are now more conscious. That, they keep telling us. They tell me too.
George, we're totally out of time.
Make sure that you keep the things calm so that we can come back to you. go. They have been tested before, and that will give them positive memory. Don't worry. We will be. All I want to pray for is the INEC must not mess up this election.
All right, that is noted.
There should be no. If they don't mess it up, let the will of the people prevail. Chief
Bode George, life member of the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party. Always a delight talking to you, sir, and thank you for coming on the program.
My pleasure too. Enjoy your evening. Thank you.